So now, since we're going to be creating a new mechanism, let's create a new game. So create, room, and let's call it level battle 1. So again, let's change our ratio of the room to 640 by 360, just like all the other ones. And now we have a place for a new level. So what I want to do is just design the room again, just like I've done previously. And what I'm doing is just placing blocks around the perimeter. And there you go. And now I'm placing my character in there, and the reason that we can do this is because it's a totally different level. And now let's also create another sprite called enemy. So when you go into sprite enemy, and we are going to click add image. Now let's go up to image and click import sprite strip image. Now go to your ghost sprite, and now do you see this white box? We're basically trying to make it line up with all of our frames. The goal is to only have one ghost per box, as you can see up there. Click OK and look at our beautiful animation. We now have an animation for our character. Now click open editor, and we're going to change our frames per second to 10. And as you can see, it's way slower, which is great. Maybe even 5. Also, check with your collision mask that it covers the whole entire object. Now, let's select our object for the enemy and link it to the sprite. Now we can place all of our enemies into our game. And if you play it, you can see them bouncing. So as you can see, we can only face one way currently in our game. So let's change that. Let's add a new event, so when the key left is down on our player, or our key right is down, something else is going to happen. So search up set instance scale. And what you're going to do, this just basically flips the image left or right. So left will be horizontal is going to be -1, and then right will just be 1, 1. And then as you can see, now we face the other way. Great. So for the bullets, let's create a new sprite called SPR bullets. And let's just draw our bullet. Now, let's make sure our origin is in the middle for all of our characters. And now let's create a new object called object bullet. And link the sprite, the bullet sprite. Now, we want to do when the space key is pressed, we fire a bullet. So use the create instance block, and we're going to create a bullet. Now what we're going to do is click relative on these, and we are going to do object underscore player, so the object, image underscore scale times 2. So that is the command basically to make a bullet appear. And now we want to put it on a different layer than our other layers. We are going to put it onto a bullets layer. So as you see, we have all the ghosts on one layer, and then the bullets will appear on that layer when we press our key, our space key. For our bullet, we also want to have an event in create to set a speed. So once the bullet is created with the space key, we want it to have a speed called object.player_image_x scale. So this basically makes sure it's on the right direction. And now let's do some collisions to see what would happen if we hit something. For both the wall and the enemy, what you're going to do is add a destroy instance block that will destroy the bullet, so self, and then we'll also play an effect. do this piece of code so an effect and a destroy instant when the ghost is collided with the bullet, so on the ghost side. As you can see, the bullet and enemy will destroy each other, but the wall will only destroy a bullet. Let's create a sprite for a locked door. This is going to be invisible, so it doesn't really matter which color it is. I'm going to rename it to SPR_blockage. And we're going to create an object to be our locked door. This is basically so we can just see it. The player won't be able to see it, but we will. So sorry, I forgot to fill it. Let's attach the sprite. And now let's place it right in front of the end of the game. So let's click solid, and now we're going to add an event. So we're going to create a new variable called global.door. And let's put it to 0. In the enemy, after the destroy instant with the bullet, we're going to do global.door +1, relative +1. So that's going to add another to the global door. Now, in the step event, we are going to say if global.door is equal to or greater than how many ghosts there are, so 8 ghosts, then the door should unlock. So destroy the instance, press self, and now let's see. So look at the ghosts and look at the pink block. As soon as the last ghost is killed, the pink block disappears. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating a new room for our next level of the battle level. So I just duplicated it. And I'm deleting the blocks that we don't need. I'm going to put another blockage block in our room, and I'm also going to put an end block. So this will be the end of our next game, basically. And that's where I'm going to be coming in from the last room. We're going to start at this level, go through there with the object, the colliding object, and then we're going to appear in the next level. So let's delete the player finally. So now we want to use the ground block to move the player. So let's duplicate it. So I just called this one maze room. Sorry, maze, go to room 2. And this one's going to be called, I think, battle. Yeah, battle. Go to R2. Perfect. And I just realized that I put the wrong block in there. So let's go back, remove the go to room 2, and let's just place go to room 2 for the battle room in there. So now let's make the blockage invisible. And what we're going to do is if the bullet or the player collides with it, it will be solid. So that's what just a blank collision block does. So our collision event does. See, look, I can't move past it. So now in the player, we want to have an event if we collide with either of these blocks. So let's do, if we are going to the maze, we want it to move to the maze room, and if we're going to the battle room too, we want it to go to the battle room too. And the jump to point is the origin, and both of them are the same. So we just copied and pasted, but just changed the room. So now if I kill all the ghosts, I can go through, and now I'm in the next room. Just like before, I want obstacles in the second room. So let's basically rearrange these ghosts to where I want them to be. And now I'm gonna create more obstacles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna duplicate them and place them where I want them to go. I'm just going to delete this path so I could just duplicate it, so I don't have to delete a bunch of stuff. So now just place each individual obstacle. Now we're creating more paths like we did before. And we're creating 3 more paths for the 3 new blocks and attaching the new paths to the blocks like we did before. Now, create new path layers, attach the path that we just created, and again, we want a closed loop path, just like we did before. Select the path that you want to edit, and now they should move up and down. Just like our previous obstacles, what we want to do is make a collision event with these obstacles, so when you actually collide with the obstacles, they will do something to the player. So just copy and paste from before. That's all obstacles do, just jump you back to the beginning. And now press solid on each of them so things can't just go through the blocks. So now it will just send us back to the middle, but it's kind of slow right now, so I'm just changing the speed of all of them. And now if we go through here, look, it's way more chaotic, way harder to beat our level. The last thing I want to do is add a collision event with each of the obstacles to make it so if a bullet hits an obstacle, it will also do an effect. So what I did was I did the same thing with the wall, just copy and paste the wall's events with the obstacle. So now if we shoot an obstacle, it also makes a cool explosion.